And Shabbat Shalom and greetings to you all. Happy Father's Day to all you dads out there, new ones, old ones, forgotten ones. Child arrived just the other day, came into the world in the usual way. But there were planes to catch, bills to pay, learned to walk while I was away. And he was talking before I knew it. Grew, he'd say, I'm gonna be like you, Dad. You know I'm gonna be like you. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon, little boy blue and the man in the moon. When you're coming home, Dad, I don't know when we'll get together then. You know we'll have a good time then. How many of you grew up like that? How many of you said, I'll be different? How many of you turned out the same? There were probably no more strained relations than that between father and son. Do not let the past influence your relationship. Start fresh, both fathers and sons. Call your dad. And if he's gone, you can still have a chat with him and tell him how you feel and what he means. And when we move past Dad's Day, we get ready for the next turn of the celestial seasonal clock as we welcome the first day of summer, the longest day of the year, when we can examine the losses and abundances of life, when the sun stood still for Joshua's warriors and when no creature has a shadow. Now, as the people are preparing this week to begin their journey through the wilderness, I said I might not, have been able to do a show because I've been doing some wilderness traversing myself this past week while I was away. And in the wilderness, you could see the desert and the hills stretch out, the dried out former rivers, the barren wasteland, the struggle for survival, the starkness of a very different world. Now, outside of where just about all of us live, much of the world is somewhere in between a third and a fourth world region. It's not the same. Sometimes the journey through the wilderness leads you to a new identity. That's what the people that we're reading about found. They all ended up with a new identity. It's where we often travel in groups, yet alone, because we're each on our own journey through our own wilderness. But when we come together to observe common events, like when we come together weekly as a group to honor and pray and observe as a community, a collective consciousness of seekers showing faith, any and all faith, and they all mix together. Love, any and all love. It's a true fellowship, a chavura, expressing our nature of kindness, compassion, thoughts, feelings, hopes, dreams, and wishes that unites us all in a community house of spirit, Beth Ruach, sharing, bringing light, keeping fear at bay. And even though together we are individual in our approach, each connecting in his or her or their own individual way, but as a group. So once again, please do go ahead and invite everybody in, physically, digitally, psychically, emotionally, or spiritually, to gather and share from Psalm 133, the Hine Matov. Come together. Hine שבתכי גם יחד, הנה מה טוב ומנהל, שבתכי גם יחד. How good, how pleasant it is for brothers and sisters together. Community. 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 Together. We support each other in this community, so let's all spread love, goodwill, and fellowship to the world. Remember, friends, this is your setting aside just a little bit of sacred time in your own sacred space to honor and converse with whoever, whatever you happen to believe in, because we all believe in something. It's a part of your kavanah, your intention that you put out to the universe. It's your goodwill. Goodwill and intention are the roots of what you can control, of what you can change and correct. Your intention is what sets in motion everything that occurs in your lives. So let's take some time now. Let's use that intention. Let's send some of that goodwill, some light, some healing, some renewal out to everyone that needs it. Healing for everyone. It just floats through space, finding those in need. So send it out for those you know and for the souls and spirits of everybody you love. Think of whoever that needs healing and renewal and love or just plain goodwill. Focus on them, call their names. It's not just for people. It is for our pets. It's for the earth. It is the healing of the world, the tikkun olam. It's part of our spiritual genetic makeup. We have to help heal the world. It's not something we complete. It's simply an ongoing task that is dealt with in every lifetime. We must each do our own little part to improve and change our own little corner of the world, because as we change ourselves, we change the conditions of life. Now, part of that healing of the world is when we send thoughts and energy for health and renewal and goodwill for everybody. They don't have to be sick. It's for those in our hearts and our minds. Let's all send energy for the people in need everywhere. Special thoughts and prayers for those who are undergoing surgery or special care. We pray for those who need help. We don't have to know them. We want health, recovery, good life for everybody around us. For Aurelia, for Yosef, for Kay and Doria, for Robin and Peter, for Dave and Mookie, for Francis and Ryan, for all those suffering and in need. We all know people in need. Let's not forget to include the familiars of our lives, all our sacred animal friends everywhere. For everybody you know in need, and for the whole world, for Rosemary. Friends, it is the kindness, the healing wishes, goodwill, and love we all send out. It just circles the world, finding those in need. So thank you, each of you, for all you do, for all you care, because the world is a world of spirit. Spirit, my friends, never dies. Shabbat. Avotenu. Mokor. Limotenu. May the source of strength bless the one before us. Help us find the courage. Make our lives a blessing. The renewal of body. The renewal of spirit. Let us say, Amen. Yishabarak, let us all of our spirits renew, because this is the great prayer for healing, which we call upon God to heal as His healed before. Yishabarak, may He who bless, because all healing is a blessing. So let's all send and receive healing and renewal energy in our efforts to love, to share, to care, to grow. Now we're about to witness the first Passover in the wilderness. People leave. First public grumbling and complaining occur. It's something that has never ceased. As this week we read, Beha'alotcha, when you ascend. Numbers 8:2, speak to Aaron, and you shall say to him, when you ascend up the lamps, the 7 lamps shall set light opposite the front of the menorah. Now what does this suggest? You know what, friends, when we light a candle, we shed light on what is facing us so we can see. Now, the 2 most iconic symbols of Judaism are the Star of David with its mirrored triangles telling us as above, so below, and the menorah. The 7-branched candlestick that we're reading about right here, one for each day of creation, each day of the week, each visible planet, each chakra, each path of the labyrinth. And by the light thrown by the flames of truth and faith and right and good and love and life, we can shed light on all the things we face, all the things we confront, all the things we fear, all the things that are in front of us. Light will always be our friend, and it is only when we live in darkness that we fear the light. This light will always be present, my friends, leading the people to a new life. These people are on that path to a new life. Numbers 9:1. And the Lord had spoken to Moses in the wilderness of Sinai in the 2nd year of their exodus from the land of Egypt, in the 1st month. They had done the Passover in the 1st month on the 14th day of the month between the 2 evenings in the wilderness of Sinai, according to all that the Lord had commanded Moses. So the children of Israel had done. So the people celebrate Passover. 2 more things occur. God specifies there's only one law, and it governs all the people, be they tribesmen or alien. Then the cloud descends, and the journey is set to finally begin. The cloud takes center stage now. Numbers 9:16. So it would be always. The cloud would cover it. The appearance of fire at night, and according to when the cloud was lifted from over the tent, after that the children of Israel would travel. And in a place where the cloud would tent, the children of Israel would camp there. The cloud would be the sign. Its movement determined whether the people should stay or go, and for what length of time. Darling, you've got to let me know. Should I stay or should I go? If you say that you are mine, I'll be here till the end of time. You gotta let me know. Should I stay or should I go? Well, we know the deity cannot be pictured as residing on the earth. But God rather is understood to tent among humans. That is, to be present in association with an impermanent, movable structure. Ergo the tent and its movements. Numbers 9:18. By the Lord's word, the children of Israel would travel, and by the Lord's word they would camp. All the days that the cloud would tent over the tabernacle, they would camp. When the cloud would extend many days over the tabernacle, then the children of Israel would not travel. There were times that the cloud would be over the tabernacle for a number of days. There were times that the cloud would be there from evening until morning. The cloud was lifted in the morning, they would travel. Or for a day and a night. The cloud was lifted and then they traveled. With the 2 days or a month or a year, when the cloud would extend long over the tabernacle to tent over it, the children of Israel would camp and not travel. And when it was lifted, they would travel. So the cloud is what's going to be determining all the movement from now on. Numbers 10:11. It was in the second year, in the second month, on the 20th of the month, that the cloud was lifted from over the tabernacle of the testimony. And the children of Israel set out on the travels from the wilderness of Sinai, and the cloud tented in the wilderness of Paran. The journey begins. And the people are now moving because the cloud's moving. But it's not without its own issues, right? Throughout this whole 40-year coming up period, there's going to be issues. Numbers 11:1, and the people were like grumblers, bad in the Lord's ears, and the Lord heard, and his anger flared, and a fire burned among them and consumed at the edge of the camp. Now, this is just the first of many accounts of their complaining in Numbers. In fact, Numbers is full of this wilderness generation complaining, and interestingly, this is the only time in which the reason for their dissatisfaction is not told. Every other time, we're told exactly why they're grumbling. Now, we find out very quickly that there is this incredible general lack of satisfaction for the food, the journey, the political structure, you name it. The people were unhappy, and it's just beginning. They just started moving. When I'm driving in my car, and the man comes on the radio, and he's telling me more and more about some useless information, supposed to fire my imagination. I can't get no satisfaction. I can't get no satisfaction. Some people can never be satisfied. Throughout this journey, Moses deals with this lack of satisfaction, and he epitomizes humankind. It's precisely the wilderness generation, the generation that is actually closest to God in the history of man, who hear God's voice, see the miracles daily, who are actually the most rebellious generation in the Bible. Now, this in turn may remind us of the Bible's first story, when humans live in the garden, where God walks, and they make the initial contact of rebellion. Now, an ongoing point of the Torah is that humans and their Creator have an underlying basis of conflict, something in the very nature of the divine human condition. And the relations between God and Abraham's descendants are aimed at eventually resolving this. I think we still have a long way to go. And then we're left with this incredible incident and a warning. Numbers 12:1. And Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moses about the Cushite wife whom he had taken, because he had taken a Cushite wife. Now, Cush is usually understood to be Ethiopia. And so this informs us of essentially a new fact. We already knew that Moses was married to Zipporah, Midianite. So this story is about a second, probably Ethiopian wife. And the underlying lesson is that Miriam and Aaron, speaking against this wife, is Lashon Hora, forbidden speech. Miriam's sin is gossiping. Now, why is it forbidden? It's a negative speech, but according to Maimonides, anything which, if it would be publicized, would cause the subject physical or monetary damage, or would cause him anguish or fear, is Lashon Hara. And it's Lashon Hara, forbidden speech, even if it's true, even if a listener pressures the speaker to tell, even if the names are left out, even if it's about the speaker's own family, even if the speaker includes himself in the derogatory description. And listening to Lashon Hara is generally prohibited for two reasons. Number one, it's forbidden to accept or believe Lashon Hara. And by listening to it, one might cause himself to believe it. And second, by participating in a session of Lashon Hara, the listener would be assisting the other participants to commit the sins of speaking and believing the gossip, the negative, forbidden speech. Now, in the Pirkei Avot, the Ethics of the Fathers, which is an awesome book, it says, whoever engages in excessive talk brings on sin. And friends, when you listen, you participate in gossip or any other form of Lashon Hara. Three people are affected: the teller, the listener, and the subject. Do not be any one of these three. Gossip's destructive, and in this case, it results in Miriam's punishment, being deprived of all pigment, so she can perhaps experience the same as Moses' Ethiopian wife. Numbers 12:10. And the cloud turned from over the tent, and here Miriam was leprous like snow. Miriam is left with skin blanching, in which her flesh becomes devoid of pigment. So if we understand this correctly, and we say that this Cushite wife is Ethiopian, then this is a case of punishment to suit the crime, and a powerful biblical statement regarding karma and racism. It's as if God says to Miriam, you don't like a woman with dark pigmentation? Then you don't have to have any pigmentation. Or you don't like a woman who's black? Try being completely white. Yes, my friends, the world is sacred. So is everything in it. Express your gratitude, light a candle, make a wish, celebrate your life and the lives of those you love, share your feelings with them. Live free, be free, honor your freedom, be well, be happy, be blessed. Share and honor the light and all who live in the light and continue to shine. Continue to send everybody you know goodwill and love. Pray for peace and freedom for everyone. And end to terror and hatred. Remember, friends, we're a community. We learn together, we celebrate each other, we love each other, we share this right together. Men and women equally. So let's all send out love, not fear. Send out peace, harmony, goodwill, and healing to all who need it. Please do. Learn to forgive. Learn to love. Open your hearts. Honor the relationships of your life. Tell those you love that you love them. Call dad. Take advantage of the time you have. Enjoy the journey. We take the twists and turns and the patterns that weave through the fabric of our lives in our effort to grow, to learn to be loved. So please do love. Now, bless you all. Have a fantastic week, a week of love and light, a week of peace, a week of miracles. Examine your intentions. Use them to imprint your will on the universe. And remember, we set in motion everything that happens in our lives. It is our intention, our kavanah, our cause, our effect. Everything's linked. Now, you always have time to forgive and be forgiven because you have the knowledge of what's good and bad. So acknowledge what you have done wrong to yourself, to God, and to any person you've wronged, and ask forgiveness. But do so with sincerity, accountability, vulnerability. Forgive those who've hurt you as you learn to be forgiving and compassionate, because the secret of forgiveness, compassion, and peace, my friends, is in acceptance. Can you accept yourself, other people in the world just as they are? Can you accept life as it is without trying to control it? If you do, you can experience the peace that acceptance brings. So do not stop your journey. Do not stop moving towards your promised land. It's your home. Keep on dreaming. Keep on being, keep sharing, keep shining, keep teaching, keep spreading joy and goodwill. Do not follow fear, follow love. It's always in front of you. Remember to have faith in what faith means to you. Act with purity of heart and mind. Despise none, defraud none, hate none. Cherish all. We're all the same. Honor every child of God, every creature of the earth. May all people know peace in this year. May you nurture kindness and love everywhere you go, and work to be present in the body. Expand your heart, quiet your mind, because the deepest source of real power lies in consciousness and your ability to be mindful, to be aware, to be present in all of life's circumstances. Make the most of your time in this life. Continue to touch and transform lives around you, because you're never alone. You are forever blessed and have the ability to bring blessings to everybody you meet. Health, love, and renewal to everybody you come across. We're all energy, and energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed. Your words are your power to transform, to love and bless. So be generous with them. Bless others and bless yourself. And love with the heart, because we're all part of a greater whole. Embrace love, not fear, forgiveness, not anger. And be there for someone, because someone will always be there for you, whether you know it or not. Continue to explore faith and what it means to you. Never accept shame as a natural state. Whatever you feel, others have felt. Whatever you've experienced, others have too. We share together. We learn together. We help each other because we are each of us simply trying to find love and acceptance and support. We all have or could have that special someone in our lives, so find them. Tell them what they mean. Remember to honor the words of God, the rules of life and living. Follow those laws, okay? And keep forgiving those you need to forgive and keep asking forgiveness from those you need to ask forgiveness of. It's a simple thing. And remember to think before you speak, because your words will empower you and free you, but they can also get you in a lot of trouble, as we all know. I know that wherever you go, you never have to partake in gossip, in evil speech, jealousy, forbidden speech, because it hurts us all. I know the reason that you talk behind my back. I used to be among the crowd you're in with. Do you take me for such a fool to think I'd make contact with the one who tries to hide what he don't know to begin with? Well, thank you for joining me, my friends. Have a great week. Keep exercising forgiveness. Be thankful, be gracious, be kind, be loving, believe in yourself and in love. Continue to spread a little goodwill to the world, and never forget you are the miracle in someone else's life, and don't participate in gossip. Shabbat shalom and blessings to you all. Take care. Bye.